Reviews COVID management in 8 northeastern states through video conferencing. The health minister says with 453 labs operating, the country's testing capacity has jumped to 95,000 per day. Home Minister Amit Shah writes to West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee on the state's failure to make arrangements for return of migrant labourers from West Bengal stranded in other states. Railways runs 265 Shramik special trains for movement of stranded persons, transports more than 3 lakh people to various states across the country. India's massive evacuation mission Vande Bharat continues bringing back Indians. 6 flights bring back 1,082 Indians from 5 different countries. INS Jalashwa sets sail from Malé to Kochi with 698 Indian nationals under Operation Samudra Setu. Active COVID cases in India rise to 39,834 with 17,846 recoveries and 1,981 deaths. Confirmed cases increase across the world over 39.4 lakh with 2.74 lakh deaths reported so far. And 4 Naxals have been killed in Rajnandgaon in Chhattisgarh in a joint operation of the Indo-Tibetan Border Police and Chhattisgarh Police. A sub-inspector of Chhattisgarh Police has also attained martyrdom. Namaskar, you're with Midday News on DD News and DD India. I'm Gautam Roy. Now, Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan held a review meeting over the coronavirus situation in the Northeast. The Union Health Minister reviewed the management done in 8 states of Northeast to control the COVID-19 outbreak through video conferencing. Addressing officials, Dr. Harshvardhan said that the situation in the Northeast is quite satisfactory and now we are aiming to soon turn the orange zones into green zones.
I'd gone through the details of the northeastern states and it's a very good performance. We are so happy about it. We have to maintain the status, and wherever we are still in the orange zone, we have to say take it up to the green zone. I am so happy to know that all the 8 states together, they have just about 194 cases. Sikkim and Nagaland, they continue to remain unaffected.
The Union Minister also said that the government does not anticipate a very worst type of situation in our country like many other developed countries, but as a precaution, we remain fully prepared. The minister added that we have dedicated 843 hospitals especially for COVID-19 patients and further added that a total of 7,640 quarantine centers have been set up across the country.
We do not anticipate a very worst type of situation in our country like many other developed countries, but still we have prepared the whole country for the worst situation. We have dedicated 843 hospitals exclusively for COVID treatment. Similarly, we have already found and created 7,640 quarantine centers all over the country.
He also said that our testing capacity has jumped to 95,000 tests per day.
We have already tested 15,25,631 patients in our various laboratories in the country. Yesterday itself, you will be happy to know that we tested 84,608 people in the country. And our testing capacity and capabilities right now for doing about 95,000 tests in the country.
Home Minister Amit Shah has written to West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee on the state's failure to make arrangements for the return of migrant labourers belonging to West Bengal who are stranded in various states. The Home Minister has told the Chief Minister that central government has facilitated more than 2 lakh migrants to reach home. Migrants from West Bengal are also eager to reach home. The central government is facilitating but not getting expected support from the respective state governments. Amit Shah has also written that the state government is not allowing the trains to reach the state. This is injustice with West Bengal migrant labourers, which will create further hardship for them. Meanwhile, thousands of migrant workers stranded in various states due to the countrywide lockdown continue to return home through special Shramik trains launched by the government. So far, over 3 lakh such passengers have been ferried by around 265 trains. South Western Railways yesterday operated 4 Shramik special trains. 2 trains each carrying 1,200 passengers left Chikkabanawara in Bengaluru for Lucknow. The third Shramik special left from Malur in Bengaluru for Danapur with 1,200 passengers and 7 children, while the fourth Shramik specials left for Hatia. SWR, that is the South Western Railways, has run 11 Shramik special based on demand by the state government for citizens to return to their hometowns after the lockdown due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, these special trains are being run from point to point with no stoppages en route. Trains depart stations only after all passengers have been medically examined by respective state governments with a medical certificate. The Railway Protection Force team is escorting these trains. At the same time, India's massive repatriation exercise codenamed Vande Bharat, undertaking the process of bringing back Indians back home, entered day 3. These Indians stranded abroad because of COVID-19 are being facilitated by the Indian government. Now, on day 2 of the rescue mission from Bangladesh today, passengers gathered at the Dhaka airport for thermal screening and other formalities. The flight is expected to arrive in the national capital, Delhi, today. Indians leaving Dhaka for Delhi thanked the Government of India and the High Commission of India for rescuing them from Bangladesh.
The Indian government, along with the Indian High Commission in Bangladesh, has organized the evacuation from Dhaka to Delhi. It has been quite well organized and well planned by the Indian High Commission. I would like to thank the High Commission as well as the Indian government for organizing the same. Looking forward to reach Delhi and to be with my family after 2 weeks of quarantine in Delhi.
Another flight will bring back Indians from Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia to Trichy in Tamil Nadu. Five other flights, including those from Dubai to Chennai, from Kuwait to Hyderabad, from Muscat to Cochin, from Sharjah to Lucknow, and from Kuwait to Cochin, will be arriving today, providing relief to Indians stranded there. Besides, in the first phase of the UK-India segment of Operation Vande Bharat, around 2,100 Indian students and tourists stranded in the UK due to the coronavirus-induced lockdown will be evacuated by 7 flights starting today till the 15th of May. Passengers to board the first repatriation flight from London to Mumbai on Saturday. Other flights from London's Heathrow Airport will depart for Bengaluru on the 10th of May, Hyderabad on the 11th of May, Mumbai on the 12th of May, while flights from Ahmedabad, Chennai and New Delhi will be taking off on the 13th, 14th and 15th of May accordingly. Now, yesterday, 6 flights headed home. The first flight to land was from Singapore. Air India's B787 flight brought back 234 Indians and it landed a little after noon in the national capital. Another flight from Dhaka ferried Indian students to Srinagar. With around 165 medical students on board, Air India evacuated the first batch of Indian nationals who were stuck in Bangladesh due to the lockdown. The students thanked the government for bringing them home. Total of 7 flights will depart from Dhaka under the Vande Bharat mission. And the third flight to land was from Riyadh in Kozhikode with around 145 passengers on board. The fourth flight, carrying 152 passengers, 25 children and 5 infants from Bahrain, safely landed at the Cochin International Airport as well. While the last 2 flights of the day came from Dubai, with one carrying 179 passengers and the other 177 on board, and it landed overnight in Chennai. Almost 200 workers, 37 pregnant women and 42 medical cases were on the 2 Chennai flights. The rest were elderly people, stranded tourists and families of those travelling. Now, the central government is planning to operate 64 flights from the 7th till the 13th, and that may extend a bit further as well, of May, to bring home around 14,800 Indian nationals stranded abroad because of the coronavirus lockdown. At the same time, the Indian Navy has launched Operation Samudra Setu, meaning Sea Bridge, as a part of the national effort to repatriate Indian citizens from overseas. Indian naval ships Jalashwa and Magar are part of the first phase of evacuation operations starting the 8th of May. In the first phase, Indian naval ship Jalashwa left from Malé in the Maldives with 698 passengers, including 19 pregnant women and 14 children. Undertaking suitable preparations for the evacuation by sea, the ship is expected to reach Kochi tomorrow morning. Medical teams undertook preliminary COVID screening of all passengers before they boarded the ship, while the second ship, INS Magar, is scheduled to leave tomorrow from Malé carrying around 200 passengers. Both ships, INS Jalashwa and INS Magar, are expected to repatriate another group of Indians to Tuticorin next week, and preparations for it have already begun. The preference is being given to medical emergencies, stranded tourists, pregnancy cases and migrant workers suffering job losses for evacuation. Indian High Commissioner to Maldives, Sanjay Sudhir, had termed the exercise as the biggest of its kind from the neighbouring country and thanked Maldives government for its assistance. Now, according to the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, 59,662 total cases have been registered in India, including 39,834 active cases, 17,846 persons who have been cured, while 1,981 people have died due to the coronavirus pandemic. And Maharashtra remains the worst affected with 19,063 total confirmed cases, followed by 7,402 confirmed cases in Gujarat, 6,318 in Delhi and 6,009 in Tamil Nadu. And with Gujarat reporting a large number of COVID-19 cases and fatalities, medical experts from AIIMS, including its director Dr. Randeep Guleria and Dr. Manish Sureja, visited Ahmedabad today. They held a meeting with doctors at Ahmedabad Civil Hospital and SVP Hospital to provide expert guidance and advice on treatment for coronavirus infected patients there. Gujarat Health Secretary Jayanti Ravi was also present. Amid deterioration in corona situation, the centre has recently had reviewed Maharashtra and Gujarat situations. Gujarat government had also requested the centre to depute 3 best doctors of the country to Gujarat to guide the team of doctors and to share best practices. Now, India Post, with its vast network of 1,56,000 post offices, has once again geared up to perform as a strong COVID warrior. India Post has entered into a tie-up with Indian Council for Medical Research, that's the ICMR, for delivery of COVID-19 testing kits from its 16 regional depots to the 200 testing labs in the country. ICMR has set up a target of carrying out around 1 lakh tests across the country per day by the end of the month. India Post has delivered consignments to remote areas including Imphal, Aizawl, Dungarpur, Churu, Jhalawar, Kolkata, Bhubaneswar, Ranchi, Jodhpur, Udaipur, Kota and many other places. Now, these kits are being delivered packed in dry ice. Union Minister for Communications Ravi Shankar Prasad appreciated the renewed commitment and partnership between ICMR and Department of Posts. He said India Post has been delivering mails, medicines, financial assistance at the doorstep and even distributing food and ration to the needy during lockdown. Now, amidst existing challenges due to the COVID-19 outbreak, a new threat has emerged in the form of African swine fever in Assam. The fever has already killed thousands of pigs as no medicine has been discovered worldwide. This is the first time a state of India is witnessing this outbreak, which originated in Africa in 1921 and later spread through the world. Last year it was seen in China, and it's believed that the disease has entered India through Arunachal Pradesh and reached Assam. Though the human body is not affected by this disease, it can be a carrier of the virus. In view of that, Assam government has adopted a slew of measures to arrest the spread of this disease, which has a mortality rate of almost 90 to 100%. About 306 villages have been identified as containment zones so far, where biosecurity is being maintained along with other precautionary measures as well. At the same time, if you look at the situation worldwide, coronavirus cases continue to increase, with over 39.39 lakh confirmed cases being recorded, while fatalities have risen to over 2.74 lakh, with 13.23 lakh people having recovered. The worst affected remains the United States, recording 1,635 coronavirus deaths in the last 24 hours. The US now has an overall death toll of 77,180, with more than 12,83,000 positive infections. The total number of people recovered in the country stood at 1,98,993. US President Donald Trump has reached out to several world leaders to discuss the coronavirus pandemic and the global economy as well. Now, in other updates, US Vice President Mike Pence's press secretary Katie Miller tested positive for the coronavirus. Miller, who's the wife of White House immigration advisor Stephen Miller, tested positive on Friday, a day after President Donald Trump's valet had tested positive of the virus as well. However, officials confirmed that Trump has not had contact with infected Pence staffer recently. The United Kingdom continues to remain the worst affected country in Europe, with over 31,000 coronavirus deaths. Considering the situation, Prime Minister Boris Johnson will not announce any dramatic changes in Britain's coronavirus lockdown, adopting a cautious approach to try to ensure there is no second deadly peak of infections. A cabinet minister said that the country is not out of the woods and that there isn't going to be any dramatic overnight change to the lockdown. Prime Minister Johnson is expected to set out a roadmap for the next steps following a review by ministers of the current measures. 626 people have died in the past 24 hours, taking the total death toll to 31,316, with over 2.12 lakh total confirmed cases. And Italy registered 243 deaths yesterday, bringing the total of those who died in the country to 30,201. With 1,327 more cases registered in the last 24-hour period ending Friday evening, Italy now tallies 2,17,185 confirmed coronavirus infections. Lombardy in the north of the country continues to be the hardest hit region, accounting for nearly one half of the latest cases registered on Friday. Meanwhile, churches in Italy started preparing for an eventual easing of lockdown restrictions and a resumption of public masses. However, the government has urged people to follow safety rules amid partial ease of lockdown measures. Now, in Chhattisgarh, a police sub-inspector was martyred in an encounter with Naxals. In a joint operation of 27 Battalion, Indo-Tibetan Border Police and Chhattisgarh Police, 4 Naxals, including 2 females, also were killed in the gun battle. The encounter took place late last evening near Pardhoni village under Manpur police station limits in Rajnandgaon district. Bodies of the 4 Naxals along with 1 AK-47 rifle, a self-loading rifle and 2 315 bore rifles were recovered from the spot. According to senior police officials, a team of district force was on a search operation in the jungles of Manpur area. Naxals ambushed the team near Pardhoni village. Police jawans retaliated in exchange of fire. The in charge of Madanwara police station, Shyam Kishore Sharma, was martyred. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi remembered reformer Gopal Krishna Gokhale on his 154th birth anniversary, recalling his contribution towards education and social empowerment. The Prime Minister tweeted, and I quote, "Remembering Gopal Krishna Gokhale on his birth anniversary. A remarkable personality blessed with immense wisdom, he made outstanding contributions towards education and social empowerment. He also provided exemplary leadership to India's freedom movement." Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid tributes to Maharana Pratap on his 480th birth anniversary. The PM described the 13th King of Mewar as the great son of Mother India. In a tweet, Prime Minister Modi said, and I quote, "His life full of patriotism, self-respect and might will always remain a source of inspiration for the people of the country." And that's all we have for the moment to this edition of Midday News. But for all the latest, stay tuned to DD News and DD India.